their 12-week shot. Very controversial. And yet most vets are giving a vaccine booster every single year. And I'm seeing dogs that have gut issues, allergy issues. These are all issues that their immune system is overwhelmed. When your immune system is overwhelmed, you do not need more immune system activation, which is what a vaccination does. If your dog has any kind of immune modulated disease, any kind of chronic disease, the last thing your dog or your cat needs is overstimulation of the immune system that is not necessary. So it's highly important for any dog or cat that has any kind of chronic inflammatory disease, any kind of immune-mediated disease, to not have a vaccination. All of my patients get titer tested. 99% of my patients come back of saying they never need a vaccination again in their life. And that is something that is very, very beneficial for your pet to do.
And what does it feel like, for a dog's life cycle, for example, or a cat's life cycle to live with a human? How do they perceive it? We don't seem to age compared to its brain frequencies run at a higher rate. It's like, what's it like for the life of a pet?
From the dog's perspective, they don't care. They're here for us. Yeah. They really are. The dog or the cat, they know that they came to this earth and they came into this body experience to be there for their human. Full stop. They don't give a shit about all the other things. My patients, my dogs, my cats, towards the end of their life, they're in so much pain, they don't complain. Yeah. Like I have to tell my client, your dog needs pain relief. And my client's like, the human's like, oh no, she doesn't complain, she's fine. I'm like, no, I'm telling you right now, your dog is in incredible pain. She just won't tell you about it, but I can tell she's in pain. They won't leave this earth until they think that you're okay without them. You have to tell your dog it's okay to leave this planet. Otherwise, they'll hang around and they'll put up with so much pain and so much bullshit because your dog is so dedicated to you that they won't leave this planet until they are kind of assured that you're okay without them.
When we lived in Albany, we had a dog. His name was Nobby, and he was a half he was a half blue heeler, half border collie, and he was Dad's dog growing up when he was young. So by the time I got around, he was relatively old. I think he lived to 17, 18 or something.
Wow, that's amazing.
Good innings. And but we were watching Hey Hey Saturday one night, all around the fire in a cold winters at Albany day. You know what it's like. And,
I do know what it's like.
And the dog wandered in. And he came around and he licked me in the face because I was lying on the ground. And he licked my sister and he licked everybody, licked Dad last.
Bless him.
He went by the fire, lay down and died.
Wow.
I looked at him and I'm like, Nobby, hang on, something's wrong. So I poked him and I'm like, what the fuck? And I told Dad and we all, what the hell? But he came in and actively licked.
He said goodbye to everybody.
Said goodbye and lay down and died. Yeah. And from that moment, I went, there's more to it. Yeah.
100%. So as a mobile vet, a specialty of mine is going around to the home and saying goodbye to the beautiful dog, and we call it seeing them to the rainbow.
Pet palliative care.
I send them over. I let them go. And it's happened more than once that I've got there and the family's ready. They're like, okay, we're ready to say goodbye to Fluffy. And
just putting the dog down?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Right.
Sending him to the rainbow means, he gets his wings. He goes to the spirit world.
Sniff crutches all day long in heaven.
Yeah, exactly. This happened. The most poignant memory was near Byron Bay, Hinterland. I got there and they're like, okay, Lou, we're ready. And I literally got to my vet bag and I was pulling out the needles and everything. And the dog died in front of us. He literally had his family around us.
This is my chance.
Yeah. He was waiting. He was like, yep, I'm ready. You're ready. This woman's not going to fuck with my veins. You're ready. I'm ready now. And he literally laid down and died in front of me. Oh. He took my job from me.
Is that what the client said?
No. That was so wonderful. I remember that. I was like, because he literally just lay down and he literally died in front of me before, while I was getting my needle ready. And I was like, whoa. I was like, your dog has just died, and they were like, oh, and they were so beautiful. They were like, this is so perfect, and you know, and they wanted to give, you know, I want to give you the money back. I'm like no, like your dog. You know, your dog chose this. And they're like, no, but we're so appreciative that you came and you told him that he was going and la la. I'm like, yeah. But it was just beautiful. Like dogs just know when they know when the humans are ready to let them go, they will fucking go. Yeah. So I coach my clients sometimes in when the dog's close to being at the point of leaving us, I encourage them to tell the dog, darling, I love you so much. And when you're ready to go, it's okay to go. Yeah. Because when that dog knows you're okay with them going, they will go.
Do they speak English? Or do you have to
they speak many languages. They speak all of our languages. Do you know how dogs?
They feel it, right?
Animals communicate with us telepathically. So if you think it, they will understand it if you're close to your dog. Yeah.
Do you want to hear a crazy story? So I was in a house share when I was at uni, and we were house sitting a dog. Didn't really know the dog very well, but got along really well with it. And the landlord came over because it was like owner house situation. And he didn't look right. And mum's always taught me if people look grey, they've got fucking cancer and they just don't know it yet. Like it's like a grey pallor to their thing, right? And you can spot it now. I see it all the time and I'm like, do I tell this person he's got cancer? But anyway.
It's socially appropriate, but maybe it is.
Doesn't matter. I'm just saying how it is. And so anyway, he came over to visit. Lovely guy. Yeah. And the dog went ape shit. I'm sorry, this dog has never done this. He went down and was like, oh, this is a cute dog. And he's a really nice guy. So it wasn't like a psycho that the dog could detect. He was a nice guy. And the dog went ape shit and something's wrong. Now I'm like, hey, I don't know. It didn't connect the dots. I did notice he looked weird, but I didn't connect that dot either. Thankfully, he didn't advise him he had cancer. But anyway, 3 months later, got diagnosed as riddled with cancer. The dog fucking smelled that. I just went, that's the day that dog knew. And then did a little rabbit hole. And sure enough, dogs have been they can smell right through you at a cellular level. It's bananas.
Dogs can detect cancer well before any human test can.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So Cece, my angel dog, I told her when she was 6 weeks old, one of your jobs will be to help me detect cancer in my patients. And my dog said, yeah, cool. What else? That's easy. What else?
How many jobs does she have? How many jobs can a dog have?
So many.
What's their brain capacity? I've always looked at them and going like, how much of this are you getting?
Dogs get so much of it. You've got no idea. Yeah.
All right, here's my next question. 2024, we've got the latest abracadabra doodle, whatever. Like how far are we pushing this mixtures of dogs until we lose the essence of what a dog is from where it should be? If we're saying wolves, right? They come from wolves and we sort of domesticate them slowly around a campfire and they, it became mutually beneficial and then we sort of went from there. But now we're kind of tinkering with it. We could use CRISPR and just genetically engineer exactly dog we want. Are we going too far? Are these dogs too fucking wild? Like, how far can we push this?
I will say that we're fucking with animals in that, look at the French Bulldog, for example.
Yeah.
We've created a breed that it looks really cute, but the poor bastards, they can barely breathe. They've got horrendous. Any French Bulldog has a long list of horrendous health problems. Like they're one of my most common breeds that come to me, the holistic vet, because the conventional vets are like, you're a French Bulldog, we can't help you. Like you're basically fucked because of the way you've been bred. And I'm very passionate about this because it does not have to be this way. We created that breed because we think they look cute with this, the squished in nose and all that. And that's fucked up. What I'm really passionate about is saying to people, when people choose a breed, do you want a dog that's healthy and happy? And let me promise you, if you want to have a dog, you want a dog that's just healthy and happy. Doesn't matter what they look like. You could get the ugliest dog in the world and I promise you, you will love that dog.
But that was
It does not matter if it's got the squished face or the Dachshund with the long spine. It doesn't freaking matter.
Yeah.
You will love your dog no matter what it looks like. So why would you get a dog that's got the long spine or the squished up nose and it's going to have a lifetime of health problems. It can't breathe. It's got a sore back. It's got to go to the vet every week. You know, why would you pick a dog based on how it looks? That is just so, to me, it is so wrong. Pick a dog that is going to be healthy. Pick a dog that's the right temperament for your lifestyle. So if you are the kind of person that works long hours or whatever, pick a dog that is okay with being at home without a person around for hours at an end. There's not that many dogs that are cool with that, but there are some that are. If you're the kind of person that lives on 10 acres and there's cows to chase, sure, pick Kelpie or Border Collie. If you don't have 10 acres and dogs, like, don't fucking get a Kelpie or a Border Collie because it's cruel to the animal.
We had a Kelpie, we had a Border Collie, and then we had a Kelpie. But that dog had kids, and we took it all through that Mount Melville region. And then when we had a Border Collie, it was living in Esperance. That fucker used to walk itself. Like, Dad would go to bed, those things can not just dig holes, but they can tunnel. Yeah. And it tunnel under the fence like Hogan's Heroes.
And this is the problem because, you know, people are like, I had a Border Collie or a Kelpie growing up or whatever breed it was. And yeah, that's my favorite dog. Like, yeah, but
if you're in an apartment,
it is hell for the dog. And then people are like, oh, I've got a fucked up dog because it chewed all my shoes and la la. I'm like, dude, your dog is supposed to run 30 kilometers a day.
Yeah.
And you take it for a piss-ass walk around Fremantle for 500 metres.
Yeah.
And then he has to go back to the apartment or the townhouse or whatever. Can you imagine being in prison all day? What would you do?
So if their pet's unhappy, they're unhappy, it's killing them, and then you show up. So walk us through the process of how you typically go about one of your consults.
Okay, so where I get the most joy out of my job is when a person comes to me and their dog or their cat has been sick for a long time, and where I get my joy and where I suppose I'm quite different is that I get to the root of the problem. So the dog or cat might have been on drugs for a long time. My goal is to get them the hell off that drug. I go through the medical history from when they were a very puppy or a kitten to say, okay, why did this animal get a disease? So disease is dis-ease. Disease means imbalance. And what we don't realize is that anytime you get sick, it's literally just an imbalance of something. So where I get joy is from finding out what is the imbalance, the dis-ease, that causes disease. Where do we need to correct the initial imbalance to get this dog or cat healthy again? And like I said before, mostly comes down to diet. I always start with a fresh food diet, getting the animal off any kind of processed food. Just give it meat and veg. It's very simple. If you just take your dog or cat off whatever processed food and get them onto fresh meat, fresh veg, give them your scraps. It doesn't have to cost very much. In fact, I figured out that it's cheaper to feed your pet a fresh food diet than anything else. So I buy butcher meat. So basically any of your local butchers will sell what they call pet mince, which is they just grind up the poor old chicken frames. It's like $4 a kilo. It's very cheap. And then I add all of my veggie scraps, so the chicken, you know, like the carrot peel and the celery tops and any kind of veggie scraps. Nothing goes to waste in my kitchen. I mix the veggie scraps in with that cheap meat. Literally costs $4 a kilo. And that's $1 a day for most dogs.
Yeah.
So it costs nothing to feed your pet really well.
As opposed to what's the vet recommended diet, the standard diet from a medical vet?
Well, it costs more than that. I'll tell you what, I don't even know because I haven't fed my pet the vet biscuits ever. But it costs more than that. I know that.
It must feel like you versus the world at some point in that.
You.
Like you versus the world, Lou versus the world in terms of like, you know, this is like you're talking about a holistic approach to pet food. These are big companies, you know, and they've been very well entrenched and most people want convenience and they want packet food and they want biscuits and kibble. And the dog seems to survive on that, so they continue with it. But you're advocating that this is different and evangelizing a healthy diet. This must feel like you versus some very big companies?
Huge. I'll probably get assassinated. Oh, no, I'm